Hey guys, I thought tonight that I would do a video about packing and repacking your pack. I've spent a lot of time this week packing this Gossamer Gear Mariposa that I'm carrying on a 5-day, 4-night trip. And over the years, the one thing that has been consistent with my backpacking is I always find myself with more things in my pack than I want to have. Especially that first day when I put the pack on and I go a few miles and I think, I got too much stuff in here. I don't know why I put all this stuff in here. So to combat that over the years, what I do is I initially pack my pack with kind of reckless abandon. I put everything in there that I think I need. And then a few nights later, I'll go down to where I have all my stuff and I'll take everything out and I'll repack my pack just to see if there's some things that I can adjust and get rid of and things that I don't need. And then hopefully if there's enough time and if I don't have other distractions, I will go back a third time and really fine-tune everything that's in my pack, sort of like you would in a spaghetti strainer where you strain out all the water. I'm looking for whatever's there that I can get rid of and be down to the bare essentials that I need. Unfortunately, this trip has got some factors that is going to create some things in the pack that I've got to keep, and that is rain. It looks like for the second and third day, it's going to rain, and that creates rain gear. And I'm actually carrying an umbrella on this trip, a wide umbrella that's compactable, probably a little heavy, but there's just something I like about carrying an umbrella, so I'm going to carry that. I've gotten this pack down to about 15 or 14 pounds, and then I've got to put in all my food and water. So my food and water, let's start with that before I look at it. This is my 5-day trip of food, and in my food bag that also has my cook kit in it, and this is kind of heavy. But fortunately, I think I'm going to be able to carry half of it and put the other half at another location, stash it away, and then pick it up about halfway through the trip. So there's my food bag. Item number one that I've got to go back through and decide, do I have too much food? And I always know that I've got too much food, because if I can put some snacks in there, I'm going to put snacks in there. If I can put some cinnamon Pop-Tarts in there, they're going to be in there. So I've got to go back through and really fine tune that and get rid of some of the stuff. So this is item number one tonight, that I'm going to go back through and pull some stuff out that I don't actually need. Then I've got my 2 smart water bottles. I've already got a little mixture in that one, and this one's empty. So these are the 2 smart water bottles I'm carrying. So that's my food, water, and cook set. All those things are going to be separate, and I've got to go back through that food bag and figure out what I need. Now let's talk about the pack. So I am now going to unpack the pack as quickly as I can and maybe speed through some of this stuff and think about the things that I can still go back through and decide whether am I going to keep it or not. Now I am carrying on the outside of my pack my water shoes or camp shoes. They're super lightweight. They're a lot lighter than Crocs. I've done a video on them. They're just a Amazon type waffle shaped water shoe. I carry them in a bag so that when they're on the outside of my pack, they don't flop around and get dirt all over my pack, just to keep it clean, but it stays on the outside of my pack just because I don't want to compact them down. So I'm keeping those. Then I've got my sit pad. It's going to rain. I don't want to carry a chair because that's another pound or so that I have. So I'm not carrying a chair, but I am going to carry my sit pad. It's super lightweight, so I'm keeping that. On the outside of my pack, I have my tent. You say, why do you have that tent in a dry bag? Well, I have found over the years that my tent always gets wet if it's raining, and so what I do is I keep it in a dry bag so that it doesn't get the rest of my pack wet. And if it's wet, then I'm just going to shove it in there, and sometime hopefully during the day, if the rain stops for a minute, I'll hang it on a tree or hang it on a line and try to dry it out for a period of time at lunch or something like that. But this way, the wetness stays in the dry bag on the outside of my pack, and I've just decided that I'm keeping it on the outside of my pack. Also, to protect that, I have a piece of Tyvek that is folded, and that keeps a water barrier between my pack and there. So that's going. The Tyvek's going with me because I'm a little nervous with the rain. Also on the outside of my pack, I have my Mountain Hardwear rain jacket. Got to carry my rain jacket. I believe it's going to help me with warmth, and this thing is super lightweight. I love it, and so I'm carrying the rain jacket. Nothing I can do there. I'm going to carry it. Then my water bottles go here, so nothing to deal with there. On the other side of the Mariposa, what I always love about this Mariposa, it has this long pocket on the side. Sometimes if I have a longer tent, I keep that there. But in here, I will look at this, but all I've got in this bag is my Sawyer squeeze, the CNOC or CNOC or whatever you call it, bag, dirty bag that you filter the water through, and my back flush. I may leave the back flush at home because I think I can do that just with the top that I have. But anyway, that's something to think about. And then I have my pack cover, my Sea to Summit pack cover, which is a 70D fabric, so that should be good. And essentially, what else? There is, well, my trowel. I've got my trowel, and I've got some wipes, and I've got some Purell, and that's about it in there. I may go through that and see if I can take out some of the wipes, but that's about it. That is everything on the outside of my pack, with the exception of my little thermometer and my cell phone carrier. And then snacks will go in this side, and on this side I have a pack towel and my Black Diamond Spot headlamp. And then I have a very heavy knife. Now you say, well, that's just too heavy and too much to carry. Well, probably so, but my son gave me this knife, and so it's always going with me. I don't care how heavy it is. So nothing really to deal with there. So I'm moving on. I'm getting a little nervous that maybe there's nothing I can deal with. Well, first thing I come to is my clothes bag. I have gloves, an extra pair of underwear, some thermals, and another shirt. I may get rid of a couple of things here. So tonight I will open this. This is a big ticket item along with my food bag that I'm going to get in here and see if I can get rid of a couple of things there. So there are my extra clothes. Look down even further, and this is where some of the weight comes from, and I need to really go through this. A lot of times I just won't go through my diddy bag or this dry bag that I have a lot of different things in, electronics and things that I should get rid of, an extra light, a big lighter, a couple of other things. I need to go through this diddy bag and get through it. And I do have some medication in there, and I have my medical kit in there. So, big ticket item number 1 was food bag. Big ticket item number 2 is my diddy bag, and big ticket item number 3 is this old CVS bag that I use for all my medical and first aid supplies. I need to go through this because there's stuff in here I don't need, and I'm going to get rid of some of the things in there. So that's the third big ticket item that I need to look at and see what I can get rid of. Moving on further. Okay, this is probably a controversial thing, but it's the lightest thing in my pack. It's just a piece of 1/8 inch foam from Gossamer Gear. I put it underneath my sleeping pad. It adds a little bit of warmth, but it also keeps my pad from sliding around. So I am always carrying this just as an extra precaution. I really like it. It is bulky and it does take up room in my pack, but right now I feel pretty confident that that's going to be fine. The next thing I have is my Neo Air X-Lite, the regular pad. Nothing I can do there. I do have the patch kit in it, and this is a big Agnes bag, but it's a little bit bigger than the other bag, so I just use it to keep it in. Nothing I can do there. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. That's the lightest pad that I have. So we're gonna, now the rest of my items that I have are in a compactor, a garbage compactor bag that I use to keep everything dry just as a precaution. I mean, I may could get rid of the compactor bag, but I don't think I will. I think I'll keep it. There's something about the rain and the wind that scares me to death that I'm going to get things wet and get hypothermia. The temperatures are going down to like 30 degrees on a couple of nights, and it's going to be rain. So I will take every precaution I can to keep everything dry, especially the stuff that I'm going to put on at night. This is my Enlightened Equipment Revelation. It's a 20-degree bag. Nothing I can do there. I have it in an extra dry bag. So I'm really got a heavy extra dry bag there for my Enlightened equipment, but I'm keeping that. The last two things are a liner that you use to put inside your, to give a little extra warmth. This thing's been really good. I think it gives me another 10 degrees of warmth, so I'm keeping that. And the last thing in my bag is my puffy. It's a Mountain Hardwear puffy that I've had for many, many years, and I just can't push myself to go ahead and get another one because they're so expensive, but I use it all the time. It looks a little bulky. I look like the kid from The Christmas Story that's walking down the road and gets pushed over by his brother, and anyway. But it is a great puffy, and it's super warm, and I'm always comfortable in it, so until something happens to it, I'm keeping it. And it's probably a little bit too heavy. The only other things I have is the stuff that I'm going to wear. I'm using just some New Balance Trail Runners. I know they'll get wet, but they're super light and they've been comfortable for me so far, so that's what I'm wearing. I carry my little cap that I always wear. This time, for the first time I have, is my Patagonia R1 that I got with some gift cards. And this thing is super warm, and so it's the first time I've used it, so I don't really have any idea other than I've used Patagonia for many, many years. I even have one I still have that I got in college. I love Patagonia, so I'm going to keep it. I have, what I'm also wearing are darn tough socks, and a pair of underwear. I'm taking a buff and a kind of base layer, just a cheap base layer, and some Columbia hiking pants, and then lastly some Injinji toe socks that I've used these things forever. These toe socks have kept me away from blisters. Once I started using them, I never got a blister. So that is what is in my pack for a 5-day, 4-night trip that I'm taking. Thank you so much for watching my video, packing and repacking your backpack. I hope you liked the video. Again, I hope you found something redeemable and something helpful to you. If you liked the video and you like this channel, please subscribe to As the Crow Flies Hiking, and I'll see you next time